Hi, everybody. Thanks for landing on Rockin' Around With You. This time we sit down with the band Friend of a Friend to talk about their second record called Facilities. Claire and Jason share stories about recording with producer Jordan Lawlor and what it was like shooting their video Always on Time with director Sheva Kafai. We also talk about ghost taxis and touring survival tactics. So grab a drink and have a listen to the latest episode of Rockin' Around With You. Thank you for joining me, you guys. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you reaching out. So we have Claire and we have Jason here with us today. And I just want to clarify, okay to record?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna jump right in. And so when did your love affair with music start?
The scandalous love affair started. Well, Claire, you go first. You go first.
Yeah, I think we both were just drawn to music at a really young age. I loved music so much. I went to sing in the choir at church, and I was really dedicated throughout my school years. And Jason was given a guitar
by my cousin who came to visit from Baltimore, and he was like, I'm gonna teach you guitar, and then he got me a guitar, which was awesome. I think I was like maybe in 8th grade, but then he got me a right-handed guitar, which was messed up because I'm lefty.
Oh, of course.
So my struggle began to play right as lefty, but that's where it definitely started. And probably but the same cousin got me a Radiohead tape when I was 6 years old, and I just listened to it over and over again, and I was like, wow, this is blowing my mind.
Yeah, okay. So the Radiohead record or CD was what like had the pivotal moment for you that you went, aha, this is something I want to explore more about.
Yeah, I think it was at that time the only thing that really touched me or like penetrated my soul. Even as a 6-year-old, I still recognize that sensation. It's like the same sensation I feel now when we make music to there. And that was like the beautiful kind of foundation when it landed. It's like, oh, that's that feeling. Just great.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, kids at that young of an age were just like sponges, right? So anything that is coming your way at that young of an age is going to influence you, definitely. Like for me, it was the Beatles with my older brother, right? He's like, I listen to the Beatles. So we had the Beatles on constantly and constantly. And so that just kind of like opens your mind to other things. So Claire, you mentioned the church. So before that, were you like a theater kid too? Like in school, did you do the plays? Were you singing in there?
Yeah, well, I always loved to perform, and it was actually the Beatles for me as well. Some girls down the block, they love the Beatles, and I was actually talking to my dad recently, and I think I put on a Beatles doc, and he reminded me that he didn't really care for the Beatles, and so I was thinking, gosh, I should really thank Caitlin and Sarah Murphy for introducing me. I think I was about 6 at that time, and they had a recording studio in their basement, and so somewhere
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's very
their dad was like a filmmaker, and so somewhere on cassette, there's the 3 of us, singing Beatles harmonies and stuff. And
so you need to go find that.
yeah, I should reach out to them.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. I love singing so much. They sang at a local church, and I said, hey guys, we got to go to this church. I went home and I was like, Mom, Dad, like I want to sing in the choir. Like, do you think we could go to church? And they obliged, lucky for me. And yeah, I never thought I could be a musician, which is really odd. It was just not something I thought was like a possible path for a human being. I thought that only gods were rock stars, and it's so funny. I was so obsessed with music throughout my whole life up until the band, but I didn't really ever see that possibility for myself. And I actually didn't realize that other human beings weren't so obsessed with music. And it wasn't until my mid-20s that I realized I was in a cab and I was like, oh man, like what kind of music do you like? And he was like, oh, I don't really like music. And I was just like, what?
That is so weird.
It's
spooky. You got to get out of the car right away.
Yeah, that's a ghost car. Get out.
Yeah. That's dangerous.
That's not real.
He doesn't like ice
Oh.
cream either.
Probably.
Oh no.
Damn.
So
Well, I'm glad you persisted because that's crazy. Yeah, I don't think I mean, every time I go into a cab, it's like there's always music going on and like blaring. And it's just like, okay, so what is this? You know? So that's weird. You were some weird dimension there, Claire. I don't know. That's just strange. So your sophomore record, Facilities, yeah. And you guys just came off of a crazy tour. How in the world did you find time to record Facilities?
Good question. We were like, we like to go pretty hard. Maybe it's like the Midwest intense work ethic or the brutal tundra winters that were like, okay, we did the tour. All right, we're going straight to recording. And it was like straight to,
We
you know,
did, yeah.
that was wild. Yeah, that was intense. But I think once we're like in the headspace, it's like, especially like just touring and honing in on some of the songs, like it gets into our bones. So we're like, you know, we're playing those songs like night after night. But then when we go in the studio, you're getting this expression of like, it's not like, you know, it was just like at our studio, whatever. It was like it has gotten the feeling and the feedback and like, you know, with crowds and stuff like that. So we kind of like it. It's intense, but we like it. We like it that way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we super live for this, you know, and
Okay.
I think, you know, maybe some people look forward to going home and relaxing or something, but that's not exactly like our dream.
Yeah, I think
you
that's,
know?
I think it's like, they're, you know, we're working with collectors, like one of the most hardworking people I know. So it's like kind of, and I think maybe we're both itching to find somebody on that level that could really focus and hit something with the passion and intensity, but also like the, you know, the practice of actually hitting it every day and working hard. So
Yeah.
we're very lucky.
Yeah, we feel really blessed.
So is it safe to assume that while you're on the road, you guys are writing, constantly writing and bouncing new ideas off of each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I think, gosh, we'd probably write a lot more too if the more time we had. I think, you know, whenever we're just feeling like really in the flow and
Yeah.
yeah.
And in a lot of facilities, like the end of it is like, you know, has atmospheric intensities and electronics and stuff like that. But pretty much all of our songs, the guts of it come from just like Claire singing, we on guitar, and we're just like on the beach hanging out, you know, just chilling. So so the guts of it is like, so it makes it pretty, you know, it makes it nice that we can, you know, be at a park and be like, you know, just like, there's just some concept, let's just tinker with it, and we just go with it and we make a song, and then, you know, fill it in with all the other atmosphere that we're hearing in our heads. But the origin is it's very nice to be a, you know.
So then I would assume that it's easier that it's the two of you, right? Because you're there, it's immediate, it's constant. Hey, I've got this. Instead of having to talk to three other members of the band, right? So it's the core of you guys. And is that a comfort to you? Is that like, this is it? This is what a friend of a friend is going to look like? Or are you guys seeking to bring in other musicians?
You know, we've just been really blessed on this journey that the musicians that we have been lucky enough to work with are just so wonderful to work with. It's
Yeah,
really
and
just,
I think in that sense,
yeah.
it's like there's never a hard like no to anything.
Yeah.
You know, we've been working with our, you know, our producer, Jordan Lawlor, was in M83 and stuff like that, and you know, has a lot of input for what we do.
He's a wizard.
We've been working with a drummer named Jessica Bordeaux, and she's been very helpful, and you know, we've been collaborating as well. So yeah, who knows?
We really want to like serve the song, and I think
Yeah.
you know, I think the people around us feel that way too, and yeah, that's kind of like that's a big part of the fun.
Yeah.
You know, trying different things. I think we're definitely not at a loss for, you know, creative things.
Yeah.
I think
just
sometimes I'll be
happens-
like, Jason, we can't write a song today because we have like, you know, a zillion songs in the backlog and we were supposed to record those, so we're supposed to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you know somebody who's on the same great awesome wavelength and has a lot of free time and around to hang, that's kind of this band, this band came about, was just us chilling and driving. We like to drive around a lot. And it's just
Yeah.
like, especially if we go to the same place like 3 times in a row, we're like, nope, we got to go somewhere totally random. And then suddenly it's like the ideas flow again. And it'll be like the 2 towns over. And we'll be like, wow, we've never been to this suburb before. So, but it works.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm auspicious. It's like you go to a different suburb and just pluck the song out of the air. This is it. This is it.
Totally. No, seriously.
Yeah.
Went to a random park or, a random no track. It was a private park. This is like last week.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's just be bad and break in there. And then we're like, wow, the being naughty vibe, like we just came up with a tune there out of nowhere. So
Oh, that's very exciting.
we
That's
both
very cool.
yeah, we both shared for a adventure, and what we describe it internally as new. It's like we need some new. It's our way that we talk about it inside with ourselves.
That's the new title for your new record. The new.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
how did you guys come across with your current producer? How did you guys meet?
So we wrote him online.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he wrote back and was like, "Hey, let's do an album." And we were, big fans of M83, and so it was kind of quite serendipitous that he wrote back and was pumped about kind of the ideas from our first album. You could kind of see, and he probably saw that as well, as like, oh, I could see where they want to take the sound, because the first album we recorded in Nashville.
Okay.
And has a different vibe and different tools, right? That were available to us at the time. So that was one expression. But I think for us, we always loved the mixing of, acoustic instruments plus electronic instruments. That's just like the music we listen to, really. So it's like, that's what we like. That's in our guts and soul.
It's crazy, actually. The first album, the producer we were working with, Jeremy Bernstein, who's lovely. He's from Berkeley, and they do a lot of analog stuff in Nashville. And he had recorded the bass of the album on tape, and we were kind of putting like instrumentation over it, but most of that was analog as well. It was being recorded in an analog manner, and
yeah.
Jason said, "Hey, Jeremy, do you think you could get bass kind of like in like a Dentel song, or like, I don't know what, or in M83
M83, James Blake, like, that like intensity.
Like, do you think we could get that in this?" And Jeremy was like, "Man, I'm sorry. I think you're gonna have to go to probably M83."
Yeah. It's like, and we didn't think about it at the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't until much later we were like, oh my God.
It was until, so he said that, and I was like, come on, you crazy.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? But yeah, and here we are. Yeah, and he's a good friend, and
well, it's a huge advantage that you can just actually contact people that you want to contact so immediately, right?
So just throw it out there and see. Yeah, for sure.
And see what sticks. Okay, I'm gonna try something right now. Hang on one tiny second. All right. And that's a still from your video, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's from well, I don't know if you would call Always on Time your new single. Is that how it would be called, or just a single from Facilities?
It's a single from what is new nowadays? It's a new, it's one of our newer singles. Yep.
Yeah. And so this was out in Joshua Tree.
Yeah, totally.
And tell me the challenges about it, because I love the whole wind, blowing like mad during the song, right? But I can suspect that was a little bit challenging.
We thought it was going to be much more difficult than we anticipated, but actually the little thing that goes over the mic was able to get rid of most of the wind, to the point where we were like, should we add some wind like back in, like in the sound?
I think Claire was chill. I don't know, Jordan and I were chill.
I got it.
I was like, yo, I'm like literally like having sand like accumulated in my mouth.
Yeah, no, and I was absolutely freezing. You know, we picked out these outfits at like 2 p.m., you know, high heat in the desert. And, you know, by the time it was time to take it, which we had, you know, intended, I should have known it would be cold. Like we just weren't, you know.
Yeah, at a certain point, we're in this and we're pretty hardcore. So we're like, we don't care. We're not stopping. We're going. The wind was getting like more crazy and stuff, but it was a really fun experience because it was like it was. I don't know. I feel like all three of us doing that it was a bonding experience. We were fighting the elements
For sure.
make the video come to life.
Well, and Sheva Kafai, who made that video, is, you know, I think she recently went back to LA, but she had been in the desert for some time, and so it was sort of her specialty. And she definitely had anticipated the whole thing. Like she knew it would be cold, she knew it would be windy, she knew it would be
Brilliant.
challenging.
She was like, "This is we'll get the best of them."
She's like, "I got this."
Intense elements. They're from Chicago. Like, of course they need like messed up weather. It worked.
It worked. It's actually a very beautiful piece. So congratulations to everybody. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. What inspired Always on Time?
You know, that's one of the first songs we wrote together, actually. And
Yeah, didn't even
Well, a
make it
couple of years ago?
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even on the first album.
2020,
Yeah.
Okay.
And we knew that Jordan would love it. It was one of the first pieces that we made together with synths. And normally our demos are made as Jason mentioned, just the two of us, you know. So, this was it was like the first time I was on the synth. I think the demo, you know, my time, if you listen back to the demo, is so bad. And we thought, I don't know, we just had this feeling like that Jordan would really love this song. And he did. It was like, he just knew exactly what to do with it. He knew just where to take it. It was so special.
Yeah, for sure. And it was pretty cool in sense of, because we mentioned, like we usually do the guitar and singing, but it was almost like a byproduct of like, if it wasn't like, because we started the band during like COVID, deep COVID, really. So it was like, we were, a pandemic, and we were, so we were forced to like go to the beach or go, outdoor things. So this one, we happened to just be indoors and so in my room, and we're like, all right, let's just try this. And so in some weird way, if it wasn't the pandemic, we probably would have started doing that. Like, right, we would have done more like synths folk right out of the gate and guitar effects. And I play the show with a classical guitar, but it's like, if it wasn't pandemic, we probably I would have brought in my 10 delay pedals in a row and and just be really like, so in some ways I'm kind of glad forced us to get to the guts of the tune with that, but happy that, Always on Time kind of came from that one anomaly that we did.
Absolutely, for sure. And it's fast approaching, 200,000 plays on Spotify, right? And your single Dream, that's past a 500,000 mark. And how does it feel to know that so many people are listening to and resonating with your music?
I think
so crazy.
I think on the playback of what you just said, we don't always think about that, but hearing it out loud, it's like, okay.
I think sometimes it's hard to our lives, our dedication to our work, and the practice of all of this. It's like, that's a really sort of like isolated, like intimate, like quiet thing. And so I think sometimes, for us, it's like we just look at it, they're just numbers. But I think when you really think about like, wow, like,
that's cool. Yeah,
these are like real human beings that like are digging our music. Like it's really cool.
And even when you said that, then it's like it resonates in a way that like I remember, because it's like, just because we're like on the musician side, it's like we are absolutely on the other side of like the listeners, the concerts as well, deeply. So it's like I feel good knowing that we're like putting back into a system that we've taken and absorbed so much from. So it's like, I imagine like, oh, if we can help somebody feel like, baby Jason listening to Radiohead as a 6-year-old, that sensation, and we can do that at scale and put a smidge back in. It's beautiful. That's really what it's all about for us. Really feels great. It's magical.
That's really cool. Yeah, because you don't know who you're influencing, right? You don't know who's like, oh my God, this is like my favorite song ever. And this is I'm gonna go get a guitar, or I'm gonna go get, a set of keyboards and figure out what to do. So it's absolutely brilliant. Even though sometimes you think, okay, it's just going out into the void, right? No,
Sure.
there's actually like a pair of ears for each one of those numbers is a pair of ears listening to that, and a mind perhaps being blown. So that's pretty cool.
And I think that one with that, like the metric, because we see how many Shazams and where, that
Mm.
one really resonates. Because it's like, if you're driving your car and you're like, oh, that's a rad band. But the idea that, where was the last place that somebody, it was like in
Or something
Vietnam or
yeah.
somewhere crazy, or far away from here, and we get that all the time now, and we're like, wow, somebody was like in a cafe having a lovely chill day, and then I don't know, they're like, I simply have, like putting their phone in the speaker, because I do that.
Yeah.
Like it's put in the speaker, I don't, doesn't matter, in a coffee shop, people are like, why is this raising his hand? And like, you get the song, this is very important. But I think that one we share that. That's like one of the only things that we share with each other. We're like, somebody Shazam something somewhere. So I don't know. That's
Shazam still trips me out. I'm like, what? I don't even get it. It's like, what's happening? No. Back in the day it was like I made you a mixtape. Now it's like, listen to Shazam.
yeah, totally.
That's crazy. But it must be really, really gratifying when you go on the road and there's all these people that turn up for you, right? You've got a really, really a good, huge, solid set of fans that I think do come out and see you. And
Yeah.
how's that live performance for you guys? How do you guys dig it? Do you still get nervous before you go on, or?
I think
Do
it's
you get nervous? I think
it depends. Maybe sometimes, maybe when like your family's there. I don't know.
It's almost like, a correlation between like, if it's like friends or family, you're like, I've never played guitar before in my life.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be able to play tonight.
Or a musician,
Or
like a musician you really admire,
Oh, that's gotta be tough.
oh man, like they're gonna think I can't sing or something. I don't know, But I think that we love to perform, and we love it so much, and so it's kind of like once you get up there, that kind of falls away, and it sort of just becomes this.
And maybe that like arc or whatever, that is the fun part, right? It's like okay, it's like the day of the show, it's like a lot of nothing is going on from when you wake up to sound check, right? And you're just kind of like, and then you do sound check, you're like kind of just like at the venue chilling, and then there's like, so it's like a lull, and then it's like, wow, 30 minutes before you go on surge. Oh my God. And it's again, it's like, it's a mixture of, it's like the entire human emotional spectrum. It's like, you're feeling excited, you're feeling nervous, you're pumped, you want to get through it well, you're thinking about all the things you need to do, like all that sort of stuff. And then you play the show and it's like you're on fire, and then it's like, a drop, but then it's great. It's clearly I enjoy it.
He can't get enough. He can't get enough. It's like, it's like, we gotta go do something somewhere. Oh, maybe we could get a show,
that's true.
He can't do it. We're planning to record,
for like 2 weeks, I guess,
in a couple weeks from now. And I go, it's right by Indianapolis, maybe we have some friends in a band down there called the Palace. They're really awesome. Ray, we wanted to do some cello. Oh, maybe Ray would want to come, and it's not too far from Indianapolis. And the next thing that Jason said was, and maybe we could play Let's Call Someone.
And like, there's only 24 hours in a day. Stop it.
We have to like focus on this. But yeah, we really do love it so much. And I think it's, it's really, it's where we feel so lucky that we enjoy all the elements of being in a band. Because I think that we've met a lot of people. It's like they love to play, but they don't really love to record. They love to record, but they don't love to play, or what have you. And we really enjoy it all. We like the content part. We love taking pictures and
like
dreaming up
videos,
stuff and making videos, and we just love it all.
Like all those elements are just like different expressions or different creative mediums. And I think for us, it's great because it's like, some people are like, oh, I don't want to like make videos and stuff. It's like, we like to go out there and make videos, we like photography, we like, it's like we'll talk about like, oh, what's your outfit you're gonna wear, or vice versa, or whatever. Like every element of it is very joyous, and I think in that sense equally exciting. From like the first like nugget of a thought from our side to make a song is just as magical as like the putting it out there to someone shazamming it in a far off land is like, and everything in between that goes into it. So we love it. It's great.
Well, I love that energy and the enthusiasm and the positivity. That's so great. So speaking of being on the road and loving every aspect of touring and playing, what are your survival tactics on the road? What are some of your survival tactics?
Oh, we have learned from
We've definitely
a
learned.
few tours here.
It's yeah, you got to eat well. It's so important. I think that that's probably like the biggest.
And that's hard when you're on the road.
Yeah, we Jason found the most amazing cooler recently. We're not being sponsored by them, but they probably should sponsor us. We tell everybody about this cooler, but it just like keeps everything cold for so long. And I think that kind of stuff, like going to the farmers market, going to the local co-op, we're really hardcore about that. Like just making sure that the ingredients are fresh and local. And
Claire's really good at that piece of it. I'm not gonna be like, I think I learned over time, because I used to be like, we'd play a show and I'm like, you want to go to a diner at 2 a.m. and have some like really cheesy egg skillet and stuff or whatever.
Well, he's gotten so much better at it. But Jason before the band, Jason had a startup called Meal Sharing, which was
okay.
Yeah, it was like the Airbnb of a home cooked meal. So it's also like, I think it just became like your habit of life, of like how you just went about life. Was like,
travel the world,
let's go here,
let's
eat
in people's homes.
Yeah, and how could you not want to do something like that? So and it's fun to be, and when you're traveling, you're like, oh man, like we're in Prague, like let's go eat like this amazing thing. But I think what we've definitely learned is like, or even just when it comes to like your energy for the day, like we've done a couple of European tours, and I think those can be, it's, when you're in, Southern Illinois, driving, you're not like, oh man, like I gotta see the sights. Like we're from Illinois, like we don't have any sights to see. Like we're cool, just like relaxing, but like, we're in London, like, oh, maybe we should like go around and like see stuff. But the fact is like you only have so much energy in a day. So we've definitely learned to just be like, you know what, we're actually just gonna read a book. And that's it.
We have an internal like, hey, we need to have some energy conservation today.
And clean food and good sleep and all that stuff is so important. And because I think our performances are really physical. We really get into it, and even when we try not to, it's like, a lot of this, it sort of just like overcomes us. And I think, we'll be like, oh, we're going to play so chill. Like, we're going to do this one so chill. And then by the end of it, Jason's sweat is like flicking onto my face and onto the front row.
It's a splash zone.
Like, and I have like no clothes on anymore because I'm so hot. I've taken them all off and my shoes are, you know what I mean? It's like, we try, but so I think at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing. Like, gosh, if we had learned that earlier on, we probably would have had less stressful days and stuff.
No.
We kind of treat it like it's kind of, you're sort of like an athlete, It's
sure.
Like,
oh, without a doubt, it's a lot of stamina required. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I just got the notice that my time's ending on Zoom, but I got one question. It's a quote from Bob Marley. He once said, "One good thing about music is when it hits you, you feel no pain." So do you think that music has the power to heal?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We talk about it all the time as to how this path has helped us become better people. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we talk about it all the time. It's like why this feels good. It's like we get to do what we love to do, but it's melting whatever tar was on our hearts as we make these tunes that just come to us. It's like, we feel lighter, we feel more connected to each other and the outside world. And I don't know what more we could ask for.
That's really beautiful. And so what's next for you two? What's next for Friend of a Friend? I love that name, by the way, Friend of a Friend.
Thanks. We're recording the third album.
Wow.
We're midway through. We have the I'm not sure when this airs, but we have a show coming up on Friday. We're playing for Billy Allen and the Pollies at Hideout. It's gonna be a really awesome show. They're a super cool band, and
and then we're going, and then we have another European tour coming up in February, which feels like a long time from now, but we got a tour.
It's around the corner.
Yeah, it's right around the corner, right?
In band world.
Yeah, so that's actually just a Euro tour happening. So yeah, pumped.
Oh my gosh. And people can find you where?
Friendofafriendmusic.com, Instagram, friend of a friend band.
Spotify, all the things.
all the stuff.
Shazam.
Shazam.
Yeah, we can only access the tunes through Shazam.
Yeah, at the private part.
Well, I want to keep talking to you guys. Let's see if we can keep talking until Zoom cuts us off. So that'll be fine. I wanted to ask you, if you had 5 minutes on all global platforms, right? And you heard the introduction would be something like this. We interrupt your regular programming to bring you a friend of a friend. What would you guys do with those 5 minutes?
Wow, that's a big one.
Wow.
That's a tough one.
What we would do to have all global
Everybody watching television and listening to the radio, streaming, boom, interrupted. Friend of a friend, 5 minutes.
Man, I think we might do something like we would sing a song, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sing a Beatles song.
we would make up a tune real time.
No.
And because you don't think so?
No, absolutely
I think
not.
we could. No.
100% not.
We could make up a tune real time. And because we had global access, we'd have to do something that would help, at least messaging wise, be about love,
Babe,
peace, and give
that
vibes.
is such a big responsibility, you know. I think
we would joke and just like stare at the air.
I think the interesting thing about being a musician, you know, music that we're not here to like tell anybody, you know, what to do or what to believe in. I don't really think that's our job. I think that it's like healing, the healing power that comes through music. I think that comes because, you know, the musicians are being healed while that's happening as well, right? So
right.
I think you kind of get a piece of that, and
yeah, sure,
that's like a gift. Like it's like the songs, like they're kind of like a gift. Like it's like just sort of there's so much grace in all of it. Like it's kind of like for us to even maybe choose like what song, or I don't know. I mean, like, because you don't really know what it means. You know what I mean? Like, who's to say like what all this means? You know, that's crazy. You know, but so
were you looking for a specific tune? That was a great. It's so we're stumped. Or maybe this was like designed to.
Well, you know, it's funny. You guys are the first ones to take it so deep and so seriously. And people are like, I would just play my new single. I would just have my video. I would just, you know, and that's what they would do. Somebody a long time ago said, I would set myself on fire. I'm like, okay. I don't know about that. But I appreciate the deep thought and the responsibility and I don't want to say stress. It sounds a little stressful.
We would debate it for like
you would debate what you would do for the 5 minutes.
Yeah, we would debate for 5 minutes and then we'd be like, should we just play like, I don't know, like an Aqua song or something? Just kidding.
You can play you can play a Beatles song or something like that, or to show people how to like restring your guitar from a lefty to righty, from righty to lefty.
Justice.
I don't know. But anyway, well, thank you guys so much to give me a bit of your Saturday. I really, really appreciate it. And it's been lovely. And we'll talk off of here. I'll get you a copy of this and we can see how to move forward with anything if we want. But much luck with everything. Thank you. You guys are lovely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.